Good afternoon, traders and investors. Will back here with another one. Our markets are closely approaching the all-time highs, guys. Only a few percentage points away now from your all-time highs on SPY and QQQ. So after today's CPI report, we will get into the numbers. Is inflation going away? Is it staying? We'll take a look at the CPI report. I also have one earnings for you guys. We're going to do Oracle. And as you guys can see, not that many earnings for the week. Only a couple to do. So we're going to do Oracle. That was yesterday. We're going to cover that today for you. Tomorrow, Adobe after the close, definitely covering that one. Then Thursday, one of my favorite stocks in the entire market, Costco. So we will see how Costco performs, may even touch upon Lennar, one of the home builders, guys. So in today's video, got a lot to cover. Got the CPI, got that earnings from Oracle to cover, and we're obviously going to do our major rundowns here of our major indexes, our major tech names, and lastly, take a quick glimpse into my portfolio and see how we've started out the week. Fairly light week for me because it is a very big week, CPI and the Fed meeting tomorrow. So didn't want to go too heavy, just letting current positions ride out, but I have a few new additions that we will talk about. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into it. SPY up 0.46%, QQQ up 0.8%. And what a beautiful day of rotation it was in the markets. You can see everything green pretty much except for the Russell. Very beautiful rotation across the board. Big tech obviously coming back here. Semiconductors with a nice little day as well. NVIDIA and AMD up another about 2%-ish each. And the only sector really majorly down here, guys, has been energy, which I reiterate is good for further inflation data to the downside. So financial is also having a good day. On the one-day relative performance, you can see almost everything in the green here. The loss leader remains energy, utilities slightly down as well. And on your 1 week relative performance, everything in the green. And on the 1 month, everything in the green as well, except for energy. So those energy reads, lower energy reads, will continue to bring inflation numbers down, which is the opposite effect that they had in August, September, October when oil was significantly rising. So before we get started into our technicals here, let us take a look on our CPI numbers. And the CPI report was actually very good. It came in line, guys, 3.1%. And this Yahoo article reiterates the fact that there's only really one type of inflation left. And this is the chart that I bring up every single report for you guys, just to put it in perspective across all of your major categories here. Where exactly is inflation and where it is not still? So you can see that the one persistent item does remain rent. Now, rent is very sticky, guys, because it's not as malleable as the rest of the categories. People cannot just change rent prices willy-nilly and very, very fast either. It's a very, very slow to adjust market. So whereas the increases in rent have been very steep over the last year or two, the trend for the foreseeable future is that landlords will not be able to increase rent for 5, 6, 7% going into the following years. As inflation comes back down to normal, your rental increases for the further years should come back to trend, which is about 2 to 3%. But unfortunately, this rent increase is here to stay. You obviously know, guys, that on existing rents, if you're a tenant, your rent will not go backwards. If anything, it will only go up, but slightly less quick. And that is what everybody wants here. So a big portion of this, you will not find deflation in your rental sector. Maybe only for new units on the market will people have to decrease the price of rent that they are charging to attract new tenants. But for everybody who currently has an agreement with their landlord, you will probably not be getting a rollback in terms of a cheaper rent next year than this year. So that's the quick little thing on that. That's the one item that Yahoo was saying is a sticky point. Very, very obvious for very, very obvious reasons that we just described. And you can see everything pretty much trending down: restaurant, meals, personal care, housing, earnings, prescription drugs, all the way down. You can see overall inflation now is above most of your categories, and even having some beautiful deflation here on the 12-month relative change over change here. Household energies deflation, electronics, toys, furniture, appliances, used vehicles, school books and supplies, gasoline, rental cars, and airfare. This is all in deflationary territory, meaning the prices are now getting cheaper than they were a year ago. That's exactly what you want to see. But for the most part, a lot of other major items here are under your average inflation read. So alcohol, pet products, education, groceries, a lot of big things, right, guys? New vehicles, college tuition, clothing, transportation, hotel rooms, now well under your current overall inflation read of 3.1%. This is exactly the trend that you do want to see. And you'll see here, guys, since the start of 2021, They've tracked 28 categories that cover most people, what most people spend their money on. At the peak of 2022, every category except one showed positive inflation, and the inflation rate was in double digits in 8 categories. That was huge, guys. Earnings were growing 5.4%, but inflation was higher than in 16 out of 28 categories, including the most important ones: rent, food, transportation, and energy. It's a much better picture now. There's deflation or falling prices in 10 categories, which we saw below. Food inflation has dropped to just 1.7%, very good, under 2% target. The inflation rate for all goods combined, which hit 13.2% last year, is now 0. 0, guys. Gasoline, unofficial arbiter of the national mood, is 9% cheaper than a year ago. There's just one problem left: rent. So all in all, guys, very good report. And you can see the massive downtrend here ever since June 2022, when we hit about 9%. Now overall inflation is all the way down to 3.1. You remember seeing this slight uptick here in the months of July, August, and September pretty much. We were forecasting that on the channel, and it did happen. But now, as you can see, as seasonality resumes, as winter sets in and consumers are less spending their money, meaning that they have less things to go out and spend on, less barbecues, obviously, colder weathers, less experiences potentially as well, staying more indoors. Inflation has been coming down, and your core number, despite still the core number, I know a lot of people are saying, well, core is still 4%. Yes, but it's the trend. The trend is what the Federal Reserve is going to be looking at, and that is what we're going to pay close attention to in tomorrow's Fed report here. They're coming out with the summary of economic projections, aka the dot plot. We will see how the Fed members stand in terms of their interest rate forecasts over the next year or two. So that is going to be crucial data for tomorrow. The likely scenario tomorrow is that the Fed is not going to be increasing interest rates. So we will see what happens. We will see what stance Jerome Powell has when he answers the questions. Is he hawkish? Is he dovish? We will measure the tone. So that's pretty much it for your CPI read, guys. Now let's get right into our earnings here, and we're going to start it off with Oracle. Well, not start it off. It's the only company that we have to do today. So Oracle tumbling massively after earnings, guys, 12.5% to the downside. So what exactly happened? Well, they had a slight miss on revenue. They did beat on EPS, but they missed on revenue here. And unfortunately, 3 out of their 4 category segments had a miss on revenue. Now, the revenue didn't go down. Revenue still went up. It's just that they missed analysts' targets. And you guys know when that happens, obviously the price is impacted. So where does Oracle stand? Oracle now stands in a very beautiful area of pullback, right? So if we take a look at this chart right here, I've labeled by this green box the likely area that I do think that the bulls are going to have a chance to recover this. So this was your previous all-time highs. It has reacted as support back in the past here, and I'm expecting it to act as support again. Buys down in the 100 all the way down to 95 levels, in my opinion, are a decent level to be picking up Oracle for the long term. We are still in a very beautiful long-term uptrend here. So remains to be seen, can the bulls maintain this consolidation here and then set potentially a breakout into 2024? There's lots of very positive catalysts for Oracle on the horizon. In terms of valuation, guys, the trailing 12 months PE ratio remains at about 32. So still a bit high on the trailing 12 months, but wait until I show you the forward. It's very attractive. As you can see, they've been increasing revenue, and their profit margins are still very decent here at around 17%. For the last quarter, they stood almost at 20%, and revenue obviously has been fairly good as well. So where do we stand in terms of the forward valuation, guys? You know I love to look into this. Take a look at the forward valuation here. The price is currently about $101, right? So if we take this forward valuation, let me put it right here, right? So at the end of 2023, fiscal year 2023, at $101 valuation in terms of the market price right now for shares, you have a forward multiple of only 18. 18 is very cheap for Oracle. And if you take it on a 2024 basis, right, 101 divided by roughly your $6.21 estimated 2024 ending earnings, that's only about 16. So on a forward basis, guys, you can see the company is actually cheap, and they are increasing EPS by a substantial amount every single year going forward here by roughly 10%. That's very good. And in terms of revenue, look at this revenue expansion that's forecasted over the next 3 years as Oracle starts chewing away at more and more of the cloud market, gaining more and more big contracts. You can see back here when they were not such a big player in the cloud market. Now, since they've been ramping their cloud infrastructure services, you can see the revenue ramp starting to grow. So a lot of very good things in the next couple of years for Oracle, which is why I think on a technical basis, it stands to believe that they are in a very good pullback area, could be considered for a buy. In terms of valuation on a forward basis, they are cheap as well. Now let's get right into the numbers, guys. Oracle, I'll remind you, are not one of the largest players in the cloud infrastructure business. I'll bring this chart up again. Very interesting chart, right? So cloud infrastructure services revenue in Q2 2023 stood at $65 billion. And you can see the majority of it was held by AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. But there are a few more players. Alibaba, of course, Oracle only has 2% of the market share. So they're not one of the market leaders, and they do tend to build smaller warehouses than our market leaders here, which is leading up to pent up demand for Oracle services that they cannot supply fast enough. And that was the gist of the earnings report, guys. Okay, they have a lot of billables that are not yet recognized in terms of revenue on the balance sheet. As a matter of fact, we'll get into that. It's around $65 billion that they have in accounts receivable for the foreseeable future here. And if you take a look at Oracle, $65 billion in accounts receivable, I mean, they made roughly $50 billion last year. So that exceeds annual revenue. So they have a lot of contracts down the pipeline that they do have to fulfill. It's looking very good for them in the future here. So here are your results, guys. So look at this, right? Total revenue up 5% in USD, very, very decent here. Total remaining performance obligations, AKA total remaining money to be collected from the contracts outstanding that they have with clients is over $65 billion. So you have that in the pipeline. That is a sure thing. Cloud revenue, $4.8 billion, up 25%. Absolutely amazing. Cloud infrastructure, $1.6 billion, up 52% on a year-over-year basis. Cloud application, SaaS revenue, up 15%. The Fusion Cloud ERP, up 21%. And the NetSuite Cloud ERP, up 21%. So all lines of business, guys, despite missing analyst estimates and expectations, they're all growing very, very, very nicely. And that's what I want to focus on here. Revenue is growing, EPS is growing, and every single line of business is growing as well. They had a slight pullback in their hardware, but that's okay, guys. So demand for our cloud infrastructure and generative AI services is increasing at an astronomical rate, said Oracle CEO. As a measure of that demand, Oracle's total remaining performance obligations climbed to over $65 billion. That's the amount of money they stand to collect from their clients, exceeding the annual revenue. Our cloud businesses are now at nearly $20 billion annual revenue run rate. Amazing. And cloud services demand continues to grow at unprecedented levels. Business is getting better and better. So very, very, very good, guys. Even the chairman and CTO, Larry Ellison, which is one of the founders, right? Or the founder of Oracle. Oracle is in the process of expanding 66 of our existing cloud data centers and building 100 new cloud data centers to meet growing demand. We can build our new data centers very rapidly and operate them inexpensively because they are all highly automated with identical high-performance RDMA networks and the same set of autonomous services. In the next few months, we are turning on 20 new Oracle Cloud data centers co-located with and connected to Microsoft Azure. Simultaneously, we are building dozens of new data centers in countries all over the world. Demand is over the moon, and that was said by Larry Ellison himself. So very good prospects, a lot of money in the pipeline, a lot of demand for Oracle services. It's just they don't have the infrastructure yet to supply those services, and that's what they've been focusing on, is building those data centers. So all in all, decent report from Oracle. Sell-off kind of overdone in my opinion, guys. And I did add a few shares here. So I did 50 shares in the after hours when the earnings was released because I thought they were pretty decent earnings. Tough crowd, I guess. So I did 50 shares at 107. And then I did another 100 shares down here on the 99 put for Friday. So we'll see if we get assigned those. Looking forward to building a position in Oracle. I've wanted a position in Oracle ever since they blew past the all-time highs. I was waiting for the retracement here. And now we are back into the levels that I want. So looking forward to that position. So that's pretty much it for Oracle earnings, guys. Let's jump right into our indexes here. So SPY, 0.46% to the upside, guys. Look at this. Look how far we are off the all-time highs on SPY, guys. Not a lot. 3.23% off of your all-time highs. Your weekly breakout, weekly uptrend is now full in effect here. You can see that breaking above our previous 52-week highs here. And the daily bulls are in absolute full control, guys, right? We had 1, 2, 3 beautiful legs up here, sideways consolidation for a minute, caught the 12 EMA right there, and now we're blasting past this yellow line is your previous 52-week highs. So the bulls are now in complete control, guys. Any pullback at the current rate, any pullback above the 454 area right here is just going to be for a daily high or low for further price expansion to the upside. Bulls are in full control of everything, guys. Full control of the daily, full control of the weekly as well. And if Jerome Powell comes out tomorrow and is fairly dovish, and Fed members revise their interest rate estimates to the downside for 2024 and 2025, guys, this is going to the all-time highs. Bulls are in control of everything. There is absolutely no negative points on this chart. So after tomorrow, if tomorrow goes well, guys, we are going to continue to march towards all-time highs. Monthly uptrend is in session as well. No red flags on SPY whatsoever. Let's see for the data tomorrow. But as of now, bulls in full control, and the rotation amongst all sectors is extremely healthy. QQQ, same thing, right? QQQ, nice little resumption of the daily uptrend here. They were in jeopardy of losing your higher lows. 384 was the line to watch. They broke it in one day, and then the bulls said, nope, we are back in play here. So bulls in full control of the daily at this point. Take a look at the percentage from the all-time high on QQQs. QQQ might get there before SPY does, right? QQQ only about 2.5% from your all-time highs. So daily is looking absolutely amazing. Anything above this 384 level is just any pullback is going to be for a daily lower high for another daily leg up. No red flags for the bulls whatsoever. Full control. Rotation does continue across all sectors of technology. Look at this beautiful rotation across everything. Semiconductors coming back very, very nice. Your software plays are doing very, very well as we covered a few cybersecurity plays. CRM did very good on their earnings. No red flags at all, guys. Companies are well positioned for the next year. On the weekly, take a look at this. Weekly trend change is now set by the bulls after a few weeks of sideways consolidation. Came back and sat on your previous 52-week highs, sat on it, and now you have your weekly trend change confirmation. So the bulls are in absolute full control at this point. Any pullback on the daily, like I said, is just for a daily lower high for further price expansion. Bulls in full control of this weekly chart as well. And the monthly chart as well is off to the races, guys. QQQ in full bull trend mode right now. No red flags whatsoever. Very, very healthy. Now let's move on to XLF. XLF financials doing extremely well, guys. We are now almost to the top end of our resistance area, right? So after putting in 1, 2, 3 legs up, we did a sideways consolidation, sideways bull flag here, and now we have another leg up here, guys. Weekly is looking beautiful as well. Look at this weekly push, guys, right into your weekly resistance. They took no time off whatsoever. You can see here, as soon as they touched it, they'd pull back a little bit and now move second move into it, right? You can see here, try to move into it, couldn't work. But now we do have some power, guys. We're now powering into this resistance area. 37 is pretty much the top of this resistance area. We'll see how high can the bulls get into here. Can we actually smash this and come back and sit on it? That would be the best case scenario for the bulls. But even if we just roll over a bit and then smash it in 2 legs, that would be fine as well. But all that to say, guys, bulls are in full control. Any pullback, anything above 35.76, anything above 35.76 is just going to be for a daily higher low to potentially push higher. Keep an eye, guys. 36.22 is your previous resistance right here. It will now be acting as a bit of support. So bulls do have some support area down there, right? You have this previous resistance, and you will have your 12 EMA, which is curling up ever so beautifully. No red flags whatsoever. Slight little overbought territory on the daily RSI, but on the weekly, you can see weekly is not yet overbought, even despite this massive move here. So beautiful job by the bulls. We'll see how much of this resistance they can take back. Overhead resistance is stead put at 37.12. If we do break that in one clean shot, guys, I do expect the bulls to take a potential breather, come back, retest this area, and then move higher. Your next move higher would be towards the 39 area. So very good recovery by your financials bulls. Now, XLV Healthcare. XLV Healthcare doing a great job as well. 1, 2, 3 bull legs up, sideways consolidation here, and now ready for a new move up here, guys. So really pushing up here, running into our overhead resistance around 134. And then the next one, guys, is going to be all the way up here. 135 and 136 is a big one, right? That is going to be a very, very big level. You can see healthcare is not that far off your all-time highs, but we are working towards this very big area of resistance. It's been an area of resistance. They've struggled with it pretty much this entire year and even in the past, right? You have these few little spikes up, but if I draw a line around the 136 area, right? 136, 136.50, you can see how often this area has plagued the bulls in terms of resistance. Few spikes above it, but every time we do, we've pulled back. Bulls have just not been able to rally past that. So let's see how we do, guys. Daily bulls are in full control here. Any pullback, anything above 131.20, just going to be for a daily higher low for further price expansion. No red flags. Bulls are in full control of the daily chart right now. On the weekly, right? Weekly is looking very juicy as well. Beautiful weekly move up. No signs of slowing down yet. On the daily, you can see we're approaching overbought territory, but not that bad. On the weekly, we still have a bit of space. So it remains to be seen, can the bulls push up this entire weekly move all the way up to 136, or will they have to slightly consolidate sideways before potentially doing it in 2 legs? We will see, but obviously bulls are in full control. Healthcare looking very, very decent at this point, guys. Not even that far off the all-time highs. Healthcare has never been really that far off the all-time highs, but currently we only stand at about 6.5%. So healthcare, no red flags as of yet. Now, IWM Russell. IWM Russell still consolidating sideways ever so slightly here, unable to break your Monday, 4th of December levels right here, right? So we kind of been trapped within this price, doing something similar to back here, right? Kind of just moving sideways here, doing a bull flag. So this is another classic case of a bull flag. If we have a rest of the market going green, I would not be surprised if this bull flag continues to break bullish, right? So very, very good performance by the Russell. Nothing bad to say about them. Bulls are in full control at this point. They are consolidating right now, so just keep an eye on this level 183.52. If you lose 183.52, a bit more daily consolidation will be underway, but that's fine. If we have daily consolidation, which moves into a weekly consolidation mode, the bulls with tons of support down here, guys. Look at this level, 181, 180. All the moving averages, the 200 weekly moving averages in green. And then your short-term moving averages down here as well. 181, 180 is going to be a very, very big level. And that is also the previous area of congestion here. 180 down to 178. So it's going to be very tough for the bears to break that, guys. IWM Russell moving very beautifully off this most recent seller's leg down. Bulls almost engulfing it completely. So even if we have to do two-step this, we are currently targeting this area of resistance, guys, 194 up to 199. That's been the area to watch over the past 2 years. And I do think that the bulls are going to be able to challenge this in the next month or two. So very good performance by the Russell. Now, moving on to the Dow Jones, guys. So Dow Jones putting in some work, guys. Daily uptrend simply continues at this point, right? 1, 2, 3 legs up. Sideways consolidation for a little bit. You guys can see no sideways consolidation here, except for down here. Sideways consolidation, and now another daily move up, guys. Dow Jones, look at this, guys. Crazy. Dow Jones, 1% from your all-time highs. So weekly uptrend now has just been confirmed by the Dow Jones as well. So looking very, very, very bullish, pretty much like the other indexes here. We have not even giving back, bulls not even giving back anything off this move, guys. Weekly uptrend is now fully in motion. So anything on the daily, guys, any pullback is for a daily higher low, anything above 36,000, daily higher low for further price appreciation. Decent support down here, 36,000 and your daily 12 EMA. So keep an eye on that level here, guys. On the weekly, bulls are in absolute full control here as well, guys. No signs of slowing down. They need to give up the daily before we even look at weekly consolidation. There was a hint here that we might be able to get daily consolidation, but the bulls just overpowered. Too much rotation in the markets. Markets are too healthy. Overhead resistance, guys, 36,927, your all-time high. So keep a very close eye on that level. If you do break 37, that will be new all-time highs on the year. And obviously on the monthly, guys, monthly breakout is fully complete now at this point, right? Monthly breakout, monthly uptrend by the Dow Jones, no sign of slowing down. Bulls are in full control of everything, looking absolutely beautiful. So now's the time, guys, to find some of those undervalued plays in the Dow Jones 30 list and potentially accumulate some shares. Now, let's move into crypto a little bit, and then we'll do our big tech here. So crypto, finally giving a little sign of pulling back. So you can see massive move on Bitcoin here from all the way 37,000 all the way to your high of 45,000 here, 52-week high here on Bitcoin. But now daily downtrend potentially wanting to be set by the bears. That is absolutely fine, guys. You know that my overhead resistance area for Bitcoin was set between 46,000 and about 52,000. That was really a stretch, right? That would have been a big stretch for this second weekly leg up here. Unfortunately, we're not able to get up there. So now daily consolidation is underway. If you break these levels right here, 40,000, right? 40,200, well, your daily downtrend will be well set. And then we will be well underway under weekly consolidation, guys. We've been expecting weekly consolidation on Bitcoin after this meteoric rise for the past 2 months. So this is healthy consolidation in crypto. And I've been telling you guys, if we do get a price dip, anything below 40,000, I'm targeting 38,000. 38 to 36,000 would be a gift, in my opinion, if we are able to see those levels again. Anything under $40,000, I will be continuously adding to the position. Why? Because your monthly trend is now set. And I do believe Bitcoin will be doing very good things when interest rates come down over the next year or two. We do have the halving event in April as well. So that's a notoriously bullish event. So even if we do get a few weeks of potential bear pullback here, that will potentially cause us to set a monthly higher low, potentially sideways a bit before rallying into higher levels. So I am a buyer for the long-term perspectives of Bitcoin here. So looking very, very, very good on Bitcoin. Just a very healthy technical pullback right now. The weekly desperately needed, was overbought. So we'll be looking to buy the dips on crypto. And now Ethereum, same concept. After Ethereum having put in such a beautiful move, guys, we are still looking for a daily higher low. Anything above 2,000 pretty much is going to be for a daily higher low. But for whatever its reason, we set a daily downtrend here coming off our highs of 2,400. Set the daily downtrend. That will just be much needed weekly consolidation, right? Weekly consolidation. Weekly bulls are in full control of this uptrend right here. Any weekly consolidation, anything above 1,900 is just going to be for a weekly higher low for further price expansion into 2024. Ethereum looking very bullish. Same reason as Bitcoin. Why? We have the monthly uptrend at this point. We have a bunch of support down here, guys. 19, 18, that would be a gift in my opinion. Anything under 21, pretty much 2100, I will be buying and DCAing for the potential future legs up into 2024, as I do believe Ethereum will pull on Ethereum and eventually start moving faster than Bitcoin. You can see this ETH to BTC chart that I was pulling up in last week's video, right? We had a nice descending wedge right here. So we will see if ETH is able to pierce back through this and potentially go bullish. Well, it may start doing something like this. If you get a weekly uptrend here in ETH, the cross of ETH to BTC, that means that Ethereum will be moving faster to the upside than Bitcoin. So that is what a lot of people are anticipating. Ethereum has not run as much as Bitcoin has, so a bit of a lag down here to be able to capitalize on. So that's pretty much it for crypto, guys. I'll bring you guys more updates as they come. Now let's move into our big tech names, yeah? So Apple, just absolute monster here. Apple, 0.79% to the upside here. Apple setting pretty much your daily higher lows right now at about 191.60. So just looking for Apple to set new highs right here. Daily uptrend was obviously confirmed back here. Just looking, as I was saying last Friday, any pullback is for a daily higher low for further price expansion here, playing good defense around the 12 EMA. On the weekly as well, weekly is looking very bullish, guys. Weekly uptrend is obviously confirmed by Apple. We're so close to the all-time highs, guys, right? All-time highs set back here in July. 197.60-ish is going to be the target. 194.71, so just a couple dollars off of that. No red flags whatsoever. Apple bulls are in full control, guys. Just look for the continued daily breakout. And if Jerome Powell is nice to us tomorrow and we get what we want in terms of potential interest rate decreases over the next year, Apple will definitely be a beneficiary of this. I would not be surprised if Apple heads to new all-time highs here before the end of the year. No red flags whatsoever. And obviously your monthly breakout here is almost complete here. Break of the all-time high, you have the monthly uptrend in the bag as well. Apple looking very, very, very bullish. Now, AMD doing numbers, guys. AMD, wow, what a rally it has been since the 100 level that we were trapped into, for so long. AMD now beautifully breaking up here, had the daily higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, pulled back, and this was the area where I was telling you guys, keep an eye, guys, 115 down to 110 for the options, but anything under 120 was a screaming buy in my opinion. Why? Because it was just looking for a weekly higher low for price expansion, guys. So weekly uptrend was recaptured by the bulls when they did this. We're just looking for a weekly higher low for the next leg up. Now eclipsing the previous 52-week highs here, which were set at 133. Now all the way up to 138, guys, right? And if you feel that you've missed AMD, it's not that bad, guys. Any pullback still, there's still 16% off the all-time highs. Growth prospects for the next year are absolutely amazing. So I would believe that this is going to eclipse the all-time highs in the next 12 months as well. AMD is positioned extremely, extremely well, guys. And another pick that's positioned extremely well is TSM, guys. TSM is positioned extremely well for the next 12 months. They are obviously selling the picks and shovels to the whole semiconductor industry. They're still 30% off the all-time highs, so I will be playing TSM a bit more aggressively. But for now, we're covering AMD. So AMD, beautiful move by the bulls here, confirming the new bull leg up here. So any pullback, guys, just going to be for a daily higher low. Anything above 116 is going to be for a daily higher low for further price expansion. No red flags on the daily, no red flags on the weekly. Weekly is looking massively bullish here. Your next set of resistance is set pretty much at your all-time highs, right? This whole range right here, 150 all the way to pretty much 160 is going to be the target for AMD. And now AMD finally completing the monthly uptrend. So watch out, AMD bulls in full control. Now Amazon doing well as well, guys. 1% to the upside here. Amazon doing a great job here. This is such a beautiful bull flag here, guys. And if you can't see it on the daily, you can see it very, very well on the weekly. Look at this bull flag. Beautiful move by Amazon. This, in my opinion, is going to explode towards the upside here. The bears have had all the chance in the world here to break 145 to 140 range of support. It was previous resistance. Now it's been acting as support. The price is just coiling, guys, just coiling here. And you know that it is most likely going to break bull as long as the rest of the markets continue with their healthy rotation. Amazon still a decent ways away from the all-time high, guys. One of the big tech names that is the most off the all-time highs, 22% still off the all-time highs. And trust me when I say that I highly believe that this second leg on the weekly is coming up. A lot of stocks already and the indexes have proved the weekly uptrend. We're just waiting for Amazon to set the weekly uptrend. That would be a break of the 149.49 level. Break that, weekly uptrend is set, guys. Looking very, very bullish, right? Extremely bullish, as a matter of fact. Support level is still down here, so bears, I'm not expecting them to be able to break this too easily, especially if they've not been able to break it in the past 2 weeks of trading. Looking like a weekly bull flag for future price appreciation. And on the monthly, guys, the monthly uptrend is already set. So that's why I also say Amazon would not surprise me if we continue to rally through the month of December. Monthly uptrend is already set right here. So we're pretty much just waiting for that explosion in price. Amazon, I will potentially be looking to play an aggressive put. I'm just waiting for tomorrow for the data, guys, because it could give us, if it's bad, it could give me a slight little dip that I've been looking for. But if it's good, this thing may fly without me, and that's okay, guys. No problem at all. There is more where that came from here. So beautiful move by Amazon. Keep an eye on that for tomorrow. Now moving now to Google. Google pulling back more than most here, guys, down 0.79%. You can see ever since that Google AI day, right, they've pulled back 5%. So ever since that AI day where they had one of their best days in the past 12 to 18 months, they've now given back the entire move, almost filling the gap that was left behind. So Google kind of in consolidation mode right here, right? So we had 1, 2, 3 legs up. The bears set the daily downtrend. The bulls engulfed. And now we're looking to set the higher low. Anything higher than 129.41, looking for the higher low to reset the daily uptrend right here. So bulls, not looking too bad, but the line in the sand level is 129.42. Break that to the downside. The bears just resume their daily downtrend. Then we get to my sweet spot. 125 to 120 is my real sweet spot on Google. On the weekly, not looking too bad at all. We are just looking for a weekly higher low. Anything above pretty much 121.60 is just looking for a weekly higher low for the leg number 2 to reset the weekly uptrend. Weekly uptrend was lost here, right? Weekly uptrend, loss of the weekly uptrend. Now the bulls are trying to recapture the weekly uptrend. So on the weekly, this looks very good. So all of this noise pretty much that's been happening on the daily, just zoom out to the weekly, guys. We're just looking for a weekly higher low for price expansion. Good defense of the 12 EMA, this yellow line right here. So looking good. And on the monthly as well, guys, monthly would not surprise me if we do get that monthly breakout to the upside here. That would be a break of 142.31. Expecting a strong December from Google. We will see, are they able to recover or will it maybe take into Q1 of next year? All in all, guys, very happy with my positioning in Google. Nothing really stands out to me as a red flag for the stock. We even have an inverse head and shoulders potentially forming up on this, and that would be a bullish pattern as well. So keep an eye on that for Google. Now moving down to Meta. Meta, very good day on Meta, guys. Almost 3% to the upside here. So the bulls are now trying to come back. So daily uptrend resumes. They lost the daily uptrend back here. You can see this right here real quick, right? Daily uptrend. Now they lost the daily uptrend with the loss of the higher low of 326. Lost the daily uptrend. Now the bulls have reset it. So beautiful move by the bulls here. Meta now re-challenging, almost going to challenge the 52-week highs, guys. We'll see how high can they close towards the end of the year. Why does that make sense, right? Them recapturing the daily uptrend so quickly? Because on the weekly, just like Google, guys, What were we looking for? Only looking for a weekly higher low. Anything above 280 was looking for a weekly higher low. I said, watch the 12 EMA, and it played off it beautifully. You remember I was looking at 320 down to 310. That was exactly where it stopped. So got the weekly higher low. Now we'll be looking for the trend continuation here on the weekly for this beautiful weekly uptrend continuation, right? Clear as day. So keep an eye on that for Meta, and Meta monthly uptrend is well in motion here. So don't expect the bears to have any momentum, any extended momentum other than short-term pullbacks, because the bulls control everything, monthly, weekly, and now the daily has been recaptured by the bulls. So no red flags on Meta whatsoever. Keep an eye, previous resistance here, 345. Now moving on to Microsoft. Microsoft as well doing very good, 0.83% to the upside here, right? So consolidation, sideways consolidation is the name of the game for Microsoft. Where are they consolidating? They're pretty much sitting, guys, trying to sit on the peak of your previous all-time high area, right? I was potentially looking if we did have an extended pullback, 355 all the way down to 340. Why? Because if you extend these lines right here, this was your previous all-time high zone as well. So it did make sense. If we did pull back, that was maybe where Microsoft was going to come and sit. But we didn't even get that, guys. They're holding relatively high, right? We only got as low as about 365. So what were we expecting on the daily after losing a bit of this daily momentum to the upside? We're expecting consolidation, right? So this was daily consolidation. Could the bears set the daily downtrend? No, they've allowed the bulls to pretty much sideways range this, which means on the weekly, watch for the weekly bull flag. And that's exactly what happened, guys. Weekly bull flag. This is just looking for a weekly higher low, anything above 324, pretty much weekly higher low for further price expansion to the upside. So now bulls, not yet in full control of the daily trend change right away. Still have a little bit of work to do here, but the weekly is looking absolutely gorgeous for a move higher. Obviously, if we, for some reason, break down with tomorrow's data or something, I will be shopping for Microsoft down here. But as of now, no red flags, bulls full control. And on the monthly, guys, monthly, I mean, monthly uptrend, just complete breakout mode for Microsoft, looking very, very healthy. No red flags whatsoever. So that's why every single little pullback on Microsoft is going to be buys for long-term investors. Now moving on to NVIDIA. NVIDIA recovering very nicely, guys, after bottoming in our roughly 450 area. So this kind of looks a bit like Microsoft, right? You see how Microsoft has been battling at the lower levels right here? Well, NVIDIA also not able to really get a big move up, kind of been battling sideways, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down. NVIDIA not looking too bad at all, guys. So yes, daily downtrend was in motion. We have now stopped it. The bulls have recaptured a daily uptrend. So we'll be targeting the high here, 47.71. Move this, right? And what will happen on the weekly? Well, it will be a weekly confirmed bull flag. Just recapture the previous high right here for, let me put this on the chart right here. So if we can recapture this lower high right here, 487, just keep an eye on that level, guys. That will be a weekly breakout level here. So if we do that, keep an eye. The bulls may be heading for another weekly breakout. It would just be continuation of the weekly uptrend. NVIDIA looking very, very, very beautiful on the long-term timeframes here. No red flags whatsoever. Bulls in full control, getting back in control of the daily timeframes here, right? Bouncing beautifully off of our previous areas of congestion here. And on the weekly using the 12 EMA beautifully as well. You can see this is our previous area of congestion, horizontal resistance, right? It was horizontal resistance in the past, all the way in this area as well, right? It's a channel, okay? So I've been using it very beautifully in the past. Now using the 12 EMA as well. Nice confluence, bounce, and now bulls are off to the races. Still looking for the confirmation of the monthly uptrend. That would be a break and close above your previous all-time highs. No red flags on NVIDIA truly as of yet. Just keep an eye. This is the line in the sand, 450. If we break that, just more weekly consolidation. Now moving on to Tesla. Tesla doing very, very good as well. So Tesla here, I mean, down 1.14%, but still not flushing the key area, guys. Line in the sand level is going to be 231 for me. Cannot lose the bottom end of this range. Very, very, very important. Tesla's been consolidating now pretty much for a better part of the last month. Actually, almost a full month here. So sideways consolidation. Can't comment too much on the technicals. Same thesis applies. If we lose this to the downside, just keep an eye on the weekly. It's your most important time frame. Lose it to the downside. It's okay. More weekly consolidation is still underway. This is currently a weekly bull flag. So looking very good for the bulls, holding above our moving averages right here. But even if we were to pull down, guys, in the lower 230s, 225s, that's still a very good motion, guys. Anything above 194, looking for a weekly higher low for a potential weekly trend change here. And obviously, if you break this range to the upside here, 247, well, 247 would recapture the daily uptrend, would also recapture your weekly uptrend as well, and capitalize on this sideways motion here, would be recapturing the weekly uptrend here after being in a weekly downtrend now since pretty much the month of September. So keep an eye on that on Tesla. Can't really comment too much, guys, because we're just range bound at this point, but it really inspires confidence that Tesla is holding up this range while the rest of the market continues to push higher. So if the rest of the market continues to push higher, this is going to definitely lean as a bullish break for me. Any dip down into the 230 all the way down to 200 range, guys, you know that is where I will be playing a lot of my short put options, looking to pick up some Tesla shares down there. And now our two last ones, Palantir. Palantir consolidating at the lows here, guys. So currently right around 1750 mark. So that was previous resistance, guys. You can see this yellow line right here, exactly where I put my puts. That is your range of resistance. As a matter of fact, it's a range, right? So we can target anywhere between $18, right? $18 and a bit lower than that, which would be $17. This was the first range that I was telling a lot of people about on the channel, right? Previous resistance, congestion, just a big area of congestion in the past, right? Break through this, sit on it, come down, and now we are in it again here, guys. So this is our first stop for Palantir. On the daily, we're still just looking to protect the potential of a daily downtrend. So it's a daily downtrend right now. Just want to save these lows. 1708, break of 1708, daily downtrend continues. But if we can hold these and break higher, the bulls have a chance of resetting the daily uptrend. On the weekly, not looking too bad at all here. Weekly uptrend is confirmed. Anything above 1450 is just for a weekly higher low for potential price appreciation as well. So keep an eye on that for Palantir. I love this level for Palantir. Palantir is relatively cheap on a value standpoint, right? You can see previous resistance on the weekly. Weekly is just clearer for Palantir. That's why I chose the $18 to $17 range, this whole range right here. That's why you can see resistance, and now using it as support. So looking good, just looking for the weekly higher low on Palantir. And even on the monthly, guys, monthly is looking pretty decent as well. Monthly breakout is currently underway. So we will see all about S&P 500 inclusion for Palantir. But I like their earnings, guys. EPS is growing, revenue is growing, everything going in the right direction. Buying the dip territory for me. Now, PayPal last, PayPal coiling up, right? This reminds me of the Russell pretty much, when the Russell pretty much does a bull flag like this, right? Look at this 12 EMA, right? Not losing the 12 EMA the whole time that it's consolidating. This to me is leaning quite bullish. If we get good data tomorrow and the markets continue their march to the all-time highs, I do believe that PayPal is poised for a break to the upside here. And a break after such a tight range, guys, a break to the upside could pretty much bring us $62, $63, $64. We will be clearing this entire area of resistance, right? It's just acting as resistance. This whole area of congestion acting as resistance point, right? So just battling. If we break through this, guys, we are up to the next price level. This could be 62 all the way to pretty much $65 is your next stop on PayPal. So looking good. I like this, guys, but we cannot lose this pattern here. The higher low for me at this point still stands at roughly about 55.34. That's the line in the sand for me. Wouldn't want to lose this level. Why? Because on the weekly, guys, that is pretty much the weekly level that I want to protect here for PayPal. I need them to continue this push higher in the 60s, so potentially set a weekly higher low to gain the weekly uptrend, a bit like we did back here. Now at this point, we're kind of just doing this slight little move up. I wouldn't really call it a weekly uptrend yet because it's not as pronounced as this one, right? So this is still just one weekly grind higher, guys. So keep an eye on that for PayPal. Looking fairly bullish, but if we do break down into these levels, guys, I will be adding a bit more shares down here. So that's pretty much everything I had for you today, guys. So tomorrow, the big day is upon us. Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, we'll see what he says. I'll do the portfolio update tomorrow, guys, because I probably will be adding a few positions either before or after the Fed meeting, depending on the results here. So keep an eye out for that, guys. Hope you guys have been well. As always, if you like the video, consider dropping a like. Really appreciate it. And if you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel. Almost 500 subscribers, guys. I love you all for that. So take care. Hope you guys had a great day in trading. As always, if you have any questions, down below in the comments. Macro, stocks, options, I got you guys. I'll get back to you within 24 hours. So take care. See you tomorrow after the close. Peace.